Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video, and today we're going to be going, I know it's now February, but don't worry, we will be doing all my 2019 top 10 lists. We've of course done all the ranked videos, I'm pretty sure, so now we are just going to do top 10 best buildings, top 10 worst buildings, top 10 worst characters, and this video today is top 10 best characters. So this video was hard, and I feel like I am probably gonna mismatch and like change things around in the future. So this list, although I've got it to as definitive as possible, I don't know, I feel like my opinions will change within the future. Yeah, it was difficult. And I think this year is difficult in particular because, not because the content was like really great, it's the content, a lot of it is very mediocre. Like, I'm thinking back to previous years, we have like great characters, like, you know, when Maggie Simpson was added, that's like, wow, that's a great character, you know? You know, even like Bleeding Gums Murphy was really cool, like Norbert Van Houten, he really stood out, he was really quirky and cool. Whereas this year there's some good ones for sure, but nothing that's really kind of wowed me, apart from maybe what my number one is. But the number one, even the number one has its kind of flaws to it. One big flaw in particular, and we'll get to our number one. And I think you guys know, but it's difficult. Yeah, overall, I think this year was it's okay for characters. I just don't think in general it was particularly anything amazing. But what I will say on the flip side is I don't think we really got too many terrible characters. Like, although yeah, there's some bad ones in there, most of them being the babies and the younger characters, but they weren't like terrible. Like, they weren't really poorly done. So yeah, this video was a little hard for me, but I think I've kind of got it done here, so let's waste no more time and get into our number 10. Let's not get into our number 10. Before we get into my number 10, I want to go through a few honourable mentions, just a few that didn't quite make the list, but I want to talk about them anyway. So we'll do them from worst to best in terms of my honourable mentions. Stick 'em up, Walrus. I love the look of this guy. I just don't think he's anything amazing, so he didn't make my top 10 list, but I do gotta say I love the look of him, and I think his animations are cool, so I wanted to give him a shout. Old Tut, I liked Old Tut. I liked the inclusion of him. I think he was pretty cool. I just don't think he's anything too amazing to make the list. Also, minor detail, but oh my god, it annoys me that he's not called Old Tut Simpson. Orville, I will say Orville's a little better than Old Tut Simpson. Although, I think my biggest flaw with Orville is they kind of gave him the modern look of the character instead of giving us the older look. The modern look, of course, resembles Abraham Simpson a lot more, whereas the kind of older episode, this is the more modern look. The older episode, he looks completely different, and I don't know, I kind of would have preferred the older episode, but they have this tendency to go with the most updated version of the character. So, for example, if we ever get Just Stamp the Ticket guy, Just Stamp the Ticket man, or whatever you want to call him, I think he's going to be in his grey hair form, which is the last time we saw him. I think it's the Lisa Goes Gaga episode where you see the Just Stamp the Ticket man, he's got grey hair. For example, I just think that if we were to ever get him, we'd probably get the grey-haired version of him, when I would, to be honest, prefer the younger version of him. But yeah, Orville Simpson, I think he's a cool character, he's definitely a positive, I just didn't quite make my list. Monkey Paw Salesman, man, I hate not putting him on the list, but I really can't. He's not like a big character, and I just think with what they did with him, he was just kind of thrown in there as a premium prize. Not premium prize, a premium item. And although, yeah, I like some of his stuff, and I liked his questline, I liked his animations, again, I just don't think he's a big enough character, but my god, he looks cool. So I really wanted to give him a mention, for sure. Geri McElberry, I liked her. I think she was utilised quite well in the event. Of course, although she is the premium thing, I think she's better than Martha personally. However, I just don't think she really makes the list because she kind of feels meh to me. Like, yeah, she's a good character, but I think like overall, I don't know. There's nothing to get there's no oomph to the character, if you know what I mean. But I think nevertheless she was done very, like, she fits into the event well, and she helps kind of lead the events in some ways. It's more Martha, but I don't know, I just still prefer Geri. I think her animations are really cool as well, and I quite liked her quest line. I thought it was one of the best quest lines, so she gets a nod too. Groundskeeper Wilma, this was another one. Like I said, this is ranked from worst to best, so I think Groundskeeper Wilma was difficult because I wanted to put her on the list, but again, it comes into the thing, I just don't think she's as great as the other characters. Plus, she is literally a gag character. She's in one scene as a gag. And I think they could have done more with her. And Willie, I just don't think it was done particularly amazingly. If they did something quite clever with the quest line, she may have made the list, but not quite for Groundskeeper Wilma this time. And the Groundskeeper doppelgangers, as I call them, which I really like. I really like them, to be honest. I like the fact that they keep doing that with other characters too. Cthulhu, my final honourable mention. I just couldn't give it to him. It was really difficult between him and my number 10. I just think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I might change this. It was really hard. I'm very tempted to give him a joint, but I just couldn't. So I have to. I kind of, in my heart, I had to decide. And so Cthulhu gets the kind of the big honourable mention, if you will. He's definitely the one that I found the hardest to not put on the list. Yeah. So I just wanted to give Cthulhu a good nod. Number 10. Therefore, is Sideshow Raheem. Okay, we're 6 minutes into the video, so we've only just got to number 10. So, Sideshow Raheem. Well, I don't know. It's difficult. It was difficult deciding between him and Cthulhu, but the reason why I give it to Sideshow Raheem is he's the only character of his event, and I think he is very good. He's a good character. He's a good premium character. He feels worth the money to me. He's got some funny dialogue, a funny quest line, and he's got some pretty cool animations too. Yeah, I liked him a lot. I gotta say, I just think he's a standout. And he stand out, although, yeah, he's a kind of a gag character. He stands out in his gag episode, I think. And yeah, I liked him overall, and I liked what they did with him in the game. Yeah, so Sideshow Raheem, I'm happy to give you number 10. So let's go to number 9, which I'm going to give to Lord Thistlewick Flanders. Okay, now, I thought I was going to put him higher, and I thought I was probably going to include some of the other Flanders, but I didn't even include any of the other Flanders on my honourable mention list. The main reason is, I don't know, there's just, the other Flanders are kind of meh to me. They're not great. I mean, they're not bad, but they're just, nothing stands out with them. Apart from Lord Thistlewick. Lord Thistlewick is great. I love the stuff of him. He's got a really funny voice. I thought his questline was very well done, and overall, I love the look of him as well. He looks so cool. Yeah, I just had to give it to Lord Thistlewick, so there you are. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, really. I haven't got much more to say. It's kind of hard to talk about these, to really kind of give my full opinions, because a lot of it comes down to looks and just how I felt about the character as a whole. But anyway, number 8 goes to Judge Constance Harm. I will defend Judge Constance Harm till my dying breath. I love her character. I love her in the episode. I think she's a great villain. She's one of the best kind of Simpsons villain characters, if you will. In the fact that she's not really like, she's not a mwahaha kind of villain, someone who's just evil for the sake of evil. You understand why she does the stuff she does, because she's just, you know, she's someone who wants the law to be by the law, and she'll do anything to kind of bring the guilty to pass. And yeah, maybe she's unjust in some of her actions in the episode. But moving to the actual game, I thought she was really well done in the game. I liked her inclusion in the State of Despair event. I think it was tied in very well with Mary Bailey. Although I think Mary Bailey's kind of I thought Judge Constance Harm was great. The only thing I will say is I really wish Judge Constance Harm was the actual questline character and not Mary Bailey, because Judge Constance Harm is kind of a staple in my opinion. She's a staple character. She's very recognisable. Yeah, and I just really liked her inclusion in the game, so she definitely gets this for me. I think she deserves this spot personally, but I feel like other people might vote her a bit down. But anyway, number 7 is Capri Flanders and Nedwood Flanders Sr. Now, I know I said that there's no joints, but this is a little different because these guys come in a bundle. So what my kind of thinking is with this is, if they come in a bundle, then they're technically the same character, I'd say. Well, they're not the same character, but I'm going to include them in the same thing, because it's hard not to judge. It's hard to judge them separately if they come in a bundle, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm going to include any bundle characters they get lumped together. So yeah, moving on. Capri and Nedwood Flanders Sr. Yeah, they're great. I think Nedwood is definitely more of a standout than Capri. I think he's got some really funny kind of dialogue and quest line, and I really like his character overall. I like that quest line too. It was pretty fun. I found it a bit odd. They came with a CBGB, didn't they? Which I'm not sure. Did they ever actually appear in that building? I really don't know. I don't remember the episode, but I found that a bit odd. But their quest line and their animations are really cool. I like them overall, and I think there's some characters I wanted in the game for a while, and I'm glad we finally got them. And it's just funny seeing the kind of contrast between Ned's ultra kind of Christian conservativeness and then these like hippies, these old hippies. I really liked it, and it was really well done in the game too. So definitely got to give it to them. Munster. So Munster is number 6. So this is of course Cthulhu's son. Now the reason why Munster is way higher than Cthulhu, like I said, I really wanted to put Cthulhu on the list, but I just couldn't. I just had to give it to Sidra Rahim instead. But Munster is definitely number 6. I loved what they did with him. Now a lot of people were a little with the event, but I think what you should admit is, you shouldn't have to admit it. It's my opinion, but what I think is definitely a standout for the Cthulhu event is the fact that Munster finally made a return to the game, being quite a staple. There's a lot of like iconography with Munster's face. We obviously had that layer that we already got, and we have like loads of balloons with Munster on it. And essentially, he was a massive part of, I think it was the 2013 or 2014. I don't remember exactly, but he was a massive part of one of the Halloween events. So to get him again was pretty cool. And I think they utilised that episode opening very well, and proves that they can do an event on practically nothing, and it works quite well. And it was quite creative as well. Munster, I thought, was the standout over his father. Although he was premium, and that was a little annoying. I think it would have been cooler to swap that round, and that's probably one of the reasons I wouldn't put him any higher. But yeah, regardless, I liked his inclusion. I thought he was really well done, and I loved the quest line too. It was really funny seeing the whole him with Count Dracula and all that. I thought it was a really funny quest line, so I had to give it to Munster. And he's got some awesome animations, especially that one on the layer. That's one of my favourite animations of the year for sure. So yeah, it goes to Munster. Abbie Simpson, so she is number 5. Maybe probably my controversialist one, my most controversial listing, I imagine. I really loved Abbie. I think she was definitely the standout character for the Christmas event that we got, the Abe's in Toyland event. There's something about her, I don't know. I really liked her. She is practically a gag character, but what they do with her in the game, I thought was hilarious. There were some really funny moments in there. Her questline definitely stood out, and I kind of made the act as a whole. That act of Abe's in Toyland was definitely my favourite. That whole kind of London act, I think it probably was my favourite. Although, in terms of story anyway, for sure. I just loved Abbie. I think she's got voice of course, which is really funny to see. And I love the kind of contrast between a female version of Homer. It's just really funny to see. Overall, I don't know, I just really enjoyed Abbie. There's something about her. Abbie is number 5. So now we are into our top 4. So number 4 is Lewis Clark. Yeah, man, I mean, come on, I gotta give it to Lewis. Lewis has been in The Simpsons since the very, very beginning, and that doesn't mean that's not a reason in itself, because I don't think it's fair to kind of just give the kind of top 10 to characters that we see a lot. But I think they did Lewis justice. Although I think in the past, like, there's characters like Bleeding Gums Murphy where I was a little iffy on what they did with them. It didn't felt a bit lackluster. I think Lewis, like, they didn't big him up so much because he's nothing amazing really. He is just a recurring face. But regardless, I think they did some really good stuff with him in the game. I liked his quest line. I think his animations are cool. I like the stuff with the rink, the roller rink as well. I think that was the ice hockey rink. That was cool too. Yeah, I think overall I really enjoyed Lewis in the game, and I think his inclusion was pretty good. And it was nice to start with 2 really, really solid characters in that year, and that's why I think Lewis is this high and deserves this high personally. So yeah. And then anyway, we come to our number 3 is Mr. Bergstrom. And I think the reason why Mr. Bergstrom isn't higher is really it was a tiny lackluster in the Valentine's Day event. Although I liked it overall, I like the act, I like the fact that we got the Childarium and we got the Union Station as well. I don't understand why we didn't get his apartment complex, but it may be something to do with the fact it's called the Happy Gypsy. I feel like maybe it's politically incorrect or something. I'd hate it if that's the reason, because it's not that bad. I mean, come on. It's not like it's got the N word in it. You know, it's. I don't know. Like, gypsy is an offensive term to the traveling community, but it's okay. I mean, like other people embrace that term, so it's a difficult one because you have things like my Big Fat Gypsy Wedding, which is a TV show on Britain. It's a horrible TV show, but it's a TV show nonetheless, and so some embrace the claim. But moving back to Mr. Bergstrom, forget the building he should have been added with. I still think he was really well utilised in the game, like I say. I think, yeah, he's got some okay quest lines. His quest line's good, but his animations are okay. I think his animations could have been a bit better than nothing too amazing. I would have liked maybe, I don't know, maybe a costume could have been cool as well if they threw that in, but obviously it's a Valentine's Day event, so they need to get it down. But I think, yeah, overall he was really well done, and I liked Mr. Bergstrom overall. I think I was really happy to get him, and I think early on in the year was definitely really strong for characters. Especially Valentine's Day event. The Valentine's Day event I thought was really solid for characters, and Mr. Bergstrom I think just kind of sits on top of all the rest. He's definitely the best out of all of them, and definitely the one I was most happy to get. So yeah, I think it's fair to give Mr. Bergstrom the third spot. So there you go. Mr. Bergstrom is number 3, which brings me into number 2, which is of course Alice Glick. I could not give it to Alice Glick for number 2. And I really debated giving Alice Glick number 1. Now, I still think I might change this. This is the one that I think was really... Because I kept going back and forth. I was like, it's Alice Glick, it's the other character. It's Alice Glick, it's the other character. I went back and forth. And I don't know, I'm still a little undecided, but this is what I'm going with for now. This is what I'm going to conclude with for now. I have to make a decision, and this is the decision I've made, although it's a predictable one. But my god, I loved what they did with Alice Glick in that Not Yet Spring Cleaning event. It was perfect. The whole mystery stuff, the whole, like, the fact that she's a bit of a senile old woman. She led that event, and that event is amazing. It's a great event. It's a great mini-event. And it proves, again, that TapTap can run on its own ideas, because that was a really fun event. And I'm normally not for them doing kind of their own content and adding new stuff in the game. Like the whole original Brown House is a completely brand new asset. It's nothing from the show. But they made it, and they made it work goddamn well. And I think part of the reason why it works so well is Alice Glick. She runs that entire event. She is the boss of that event. And I think for that reason, and that reason alone, she gets the number 2. But on top of that, she has a really good quest line and some really awesome animations. And I gotta give it to her. She's really great. And even now I'm debating putting her as number 1. And hell, maybe I will change it in the future. Maybe I'll change my mind. Like I said, I have to make a decision. So this is what I'm sticking with. But yeah, I just really loved Alice Glick. I thought she was really well done in the event that she was in, the Not Yet Spring Cleaning, and she's a great character to start the year off, especially after that whole Hot Flash debacle. I think my only criticism of Alice Glick will be the fact that, it's annoying that we didn't get the Hot Flash costume. I hate that. I mean, a Hot Flash character. So we got a Hot Flash character and we got Alice Glick as a character. I don't know why they just retcon the Hot Flash and make it a costume. It's not like costumes are less anyway. Like, costumes cost the exact same amount for characters now, so it's not even like you'll be ripping players off. So I really wish they would do that in the future, but they're probably not. But regardless, I loved the Alice Glick character, and I think she was really awesome. But anyway, we've now got to go for the number 1, and I think most people know what it's going to be, or who it's going to be, or it's going to be. Let's have that drum roll. It's, of course, God. It's God. God. Yahweh. Allah. It's God. Oh, man. I had to give it to him. It's difficult because I don't want to, and the main reason why I was hesitant to give it to God is for one factor: the price. I have to take this into consideration. Although, yes, players can save up that amount of donuts, it's a massive, hefty price to pay for one character and one decoration. 777 donuts is a shit ton. It's one of the most, I think it is the most expensive thing that's ever been in Tapped Out. And that made it really difficult for me because, yeah, I got him like that because, you know, I have a lot of donuts, so I just got him without a second notice. But really thinking about it, the price is an issue. But on the flip side, is he worth the price? I would say, in a way, kind of, because, like, bear in mind, you're not just getting one animation, you're not getting two, you're getting 3 animations, which is really cool. You're getting a really, really solid quest line. I like the quest line with him and Jesus, and the whole sun thing, and kind of putting the Council of Nicaea to test. I don't know, there was some funny stuff in there, and I quite enjoyed the quest line. I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, and I don't know, like, of course, we have to talk about his 24-hour task, which is I think it's 24-hour, or his last task anyway, which of course generates, was it like 700, is it 77 million, or is it 700, whatever it is, but a lot of cash, basically. And if you're a player that, you know, buys him on a whim, you'll get like an early player who buys him on the whim from saving donuts. Maybe you saved, like, you know, you've saved that amount of donuts up over time, or maybe you bought some possibly, and you buy him, you're getting a benefit from that because the cash is a major benefit. So for that factor, I kind of have to give it to him, and I'm giving him the #1 spot. Although I kind of don't want to because of the price. Overall, just about gets it, but only just, I will say. I think Alice Click is a strong second contender, and I really do believe that. But yeah, I think God overall gets the win, doesn't he always? And also his voice is really cool too. I must comment on that. So yeah. So anyway, guys, that is it for the top 10 characters. Please do give me your opinions if you can. There's a lot of characters to go through, so you might want to kind of go through all of them if you want to get your own kind of thought. How I did this video is I was just eliminating characters. I kind of listed every single character, and then I was like, bad, good, meh, and then I kind of took the good, and then I just started eliminating them. Yeah, and it was difficult, and I probably will change my mind, I'll be honest. But anyway, my bad characters was a lot easier to do, so stay tuned for that. We'll be out soon, and then we'll get to buildings eventually, but that will be even harder. I haven't even started doing that, and that's going to be a bitch to do. The worst will be fine, but the best is going to be difficult because there isn't this. It's a difficult thing. Again, I think Not Yet Spring Cleaning is really standing out as a great event for me because there's so many good buildings there as well. So. But yeah, that's the video. Anyway, I'm gonna need to shut up now. This has gone over. So tell me your thoughts. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I guess I hate asking people to subscribe. Why did I do that? Don't subscribe. No, subscribe if you want. And yeah, make sure to stay tuned for the next Simpsons Tapped Out top 10 or other Simpsons Tapped Out related stuff. Or if you don't like the Simpsons Tapped Out, try something else. Anyway, bye.